Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome back to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And today we're going to be giving our first impressions on the Funkoverse Strategy Game,
Yes.
Harry Potter.
Yes, and this is, I believe there are multiple Harry Potter editions, and this one includes Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Bellatrix Lestrange, and Lord shall not be named.
That is true. We don't want to take any risks here.
Not a huge fan of Harry Potter, so I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for those probably completely wrong name pronunciations.
You did get those right. Yeah, and surprisingly, I don't know if you've ever watched a Harry Potter movie or anything. I mean, you've probably seen some.
I think you actually took me to see the Deathly Hallows Part 2 in theaters. Just randomly. I remember that.
I do not remember that, but I believe you.
I don't think I had watched any before that. So you must have been really excited about it.
I definitely was back in the day for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one, because of that, you can tell I was a little more of a Harry Potter fan, and kind of been trying to look for that Harry Potter game to get in the collection. And I don't think I have seen too many out there that are like top tier games or games that are rated really, really well. There might be one or two. I think there's some newer ones, maybe like I think it's like Hogwarts Battle or House Cup or something. I think there's one of them out there at least, if not maybe two. But yeah, I've been kind of looking for that, and I think I had a Target gift card or something, and this at the time, this was like a couple of years ago. I got this, so this has been on our shelf for
actually I had to dust off the top
quite
of this.
a while. But yeah, so and at that time if you go to Target today, I think most of them have a pretty good selection of games. And then I think they still had a decent selection at that time, but it was not quite as much as today. And this was kind of one of the main ones there, and I think I'd heard Tom from the Dice Tower and stuff kind of talk about some of the Funkoverse games as being some they really, really liked. So I'm like, well, maybe this will be, the Harry Potter game for me. And then I knew even at that time, I think now there's even way more expansions for this, but at the time there were even still already a couple extra things. So I figured, well, if I like it, it's kind of one of those things that's going to be like an ever expandable thing, because you can kind of just match up any.
You can go get the Golden Girls pack and combine that with this.
Yeah. Right. So I was a little, excited for it, hopeful that it would be something I would like, but at the same time, there was a little hesitancy because also at that time we didn't have too many like combat type games, which is kind of what this was, like a battle game, or you're kind of trying to eliminate your opponents. We didn't have too many of those, so it was kind of something that really we didn't have in the collection either. So there was a little hesitancy, like this is going to be a little bit different than a lot of the Euro-y games that I have that are definitely not quite the same thing.
I'm not a huge fan of Harry Potter, so that didn't draw me into this. But I had heard a few things about the Funkoverse series of games. But obviously, since it's been on the shelf for like 2 years and we're just playing it now, it didn't have a huge hook, I don't think, for either of us. But actually, you did play it earlier than just now, but you played like kind of just the starter mode to get to know the game, and you kind of told me that you did not enjoy that very much, so that kind of knocked it down even a little more to where I've kind of just not really given the game a thought for the past year or so.
Yeah, I think I looked back at Board Game Geek, and I think I had put like a 5 or 5.5 on it. And, I mean, just because I knew the game still worked and everything, but it just didn't really have anything to hook me in, even though, I really like the Funko Pops themselves and stuff. But, it just didn't really have a hook. But then I also knew, it didn't play like the full version of the game. So we're actually right now playing through all the games in the collection, so we kind of figured this would be kind of its one chance to, stay in the collection because we're also deciding if there's any to cull. So this was kind of it. But we played with everything, including like items, and then also like a somewhat of a scenario or something that we played with to try to score 10 points first. So we gave it the chance, and
it was better than you told me. I never played the starter variant, but it was better than that, you said. But still, it was a slow game. It was a slow game, slower than I expected. I thought this would be a quick, snappy. It seems like I hear of it, and it sounds like people say it's a pretty approachable game. And there's not too many rules, but it's a very slow, methodical game, at least for the scenario, and we did play with everything. You can play with less characters that you control, which decreases the amount of points that you have to get to the end game. So maybe that's recommended for 2 players. But yeah, as of right now, with just that play, I'd probably give this a little under a 7.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't, and it was just based off one play, and we were still, because it had been a while since I had done that last one, so we were still kind of learning as we were playing it too. So that could have added a little bit of time, but on the box it says like 20 to 60 minutes. And I think we were over that 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And I do think if this was more in, like you said, the range of like maybe 20 to 30 minutes tops type game, it would be a little higher for me. But I think, like you said, it did move up a little bit. I think from a 5 or 5.5 to maybe the 5.56. So it went up maybe like a point for me. But I still, I don't.
A 5.5 to a 5.56?
Well, no, a 5 to 5.5 ish.
Oh.
To with the stuff,
I see.
5.5 to like 6 ish.
Oh, I see.
And probably closer to the 6. There was a lot. There was a lot more that was being done in the game, but it also, like you said, it was too long, I think, for what it was. And there's a lot of dice rolls in the game. It didn't seem like there were all that many ways to mitigate the dice rolls. So just trying to, you kind of had to hit back-to-back good dice rolls to actually get points most of the time. So it just kind of, like you said, it was a methodical drive to try to get points.
So few things that you can do on your turn that if kind of a dice roll goes bad for you, that's half your turn right there.
Or for that character.
For that character, yeah.
Yeah, but there still were dice rolls where it was kind of a stand-up thing.
I don't have a problem with dice rolling. But they got out of hand, I would say, sometimes with the just over-the-top terrible rolls that I suffered, sadly.
Yes, there were a couple times. And it seemed like they all came like back to back to back and actually ended up causing you to lose, sort of. It all kind of happened. It was a chain of just bad rolls for you. You didn't have a single one hit.
Yeah, you kind of had like one big fail that you had, but then I was not able to capitalize on it at all because Harry Potter is a goon.
Right.
Why did I revive you?
Should have just left you to die. Yeah, but no, I don't think it'll be one that'll stay in the collection, but I could see people liking it. I guess. Do you think you would have won it if it had been the Golden Girls set? Would you have forced me to play this earlier?
I think so. Yes.
Do you think you would like that better? Would that get it up to a 7?
I might get it up to a 7. So, surprise! I do enjoy the Golden Girls. Thanks for calling me out on that.
How about, I think there might be some Jurassic Park ones. Would you like those, you think? Or
yeah, probably a little more.
Yeah, I think they have quite a few out now. So yeah, at least for this one, I don't know that there's nothing that really inspired me. It wasn't the Harry Potter game that I wanted.
Yeah. It's not I wouldn't say objectively this is a bad game.
No.
I think it's a good game. I really like the cooldown system of using special tokens for your actions,
Yeah.
special abilities, and those cooling down over rounds. But still, even that, I think you can get that in some other games. And this is compared a lot to Unmatched, and I think Unmatched is for us. I think we prefer that, and it's just a lot quicker. The games.
Yeah, the turns in that one seem a lot more snappy, whereas this, it is quick, but it's like, it doesn't feel like you're doing much.
Yeah,
on your
and there
turns.
can be huge moves in Unmatched.
Yeah, and there was never, it's a stand-up moment when you get the point maybe, but it still, there were quite a few points that I got at least during the game that didn't feel as big. It just was like, okay, I did get a point, but I didn't feel like, oh yes, one step closer. So. Yeah, if you've played Unmatched, they're still pretty different. I wouldn't say if you like one that you'll like the other, but I think you could like both because I think they both bring different things to the table as well. Maybe I don't know if anyone out there has played a bunch of Funkoverse and really likes Funkoverse. Maybe if I don't know, this could be
there's
a bad pack.
Maybe the other scenarios are better or more to what we're looking for.
So I think we played like capture the flag type one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was that.
Maybe that or and there are some good moments in there, but just like it a little more consistent.
But if you made it this far and liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these first impressions or Chippy reviews of games and unboxings and all our other content, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when those videos come out. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to
keep on nibbling
on our content.